And welcome back to Hero Power. This is episode 41. And we have a great show planned for you today. We are going to talk a little bit about Karazhan. We are going to talk a little bit about Purify. And we're going to talk a whole lot about TESPA. As always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Zeroshio.
Hey, gang.
Versika.
Hey, guys and gals.
And we have a very special guest this week, all the way from the left coast of the United States.
Left coast.
It's Jon Oh!
Hey, what's up, guys? Appreciate you guys having me on your podcast tonight.
Wait, is it proper to say it's Jon Oh or it's Jon Oh? Which
It's Jon Oh.
Okay,
Okay,
there's
there you
Jon
go.
Oh.
I like it.
You can just call me Jon Oh.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, we are super stoked to have you here. We've got a lot of questions for you. We'll get to that here in just a minute. First, Versika, why don't you tell us about our sponsors over at Viforce?
All right, so you have been listening to us talk about Viforce for months now, but you actually have a chance to get to see Viforce in action. Not this weekend, but the following weekend at the summer preliminaries. Viforce will be at our event, and they'll be able to answer any questions you have. They're demoing one of their machines, maybe two of their machines. So you get on there, test run, see what you think. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to get to connect to the guys that are connecting us to you.
Absolutely. Hands-on demos, guys. Come out to Level Up Games and Hobbies in Knoxville, August 19th through the 21st. Be a lot of Hearthstone going on that weekend. So, all right. Well, let's just jump right into it. We are super stoked to have Jon Oh here. And as I said, Jon is also an innkeeper like me. He is responsible for running a lot of these great Hearthstone events in the Seattle area. And that just excites me, having another innkeeper on the show. I don't think we've had another innkeeper on the show yet. So
Nope. Not yet.
Before we get into introducing it's Jon Oh and
oh, yeah, that's right. You got a wine.
didn't get any emails
Oh.
and we haven't gotten any iTunes reviews. Now I'm trying to grow the beard back, but if I have to eat the beard because I have no iTunes reviews to feed off of, I'll have to do that. Now we're getting some great guests on here. We got Jon Oh on. We've had Joster. We've had tons of great guests on our show in the past. If you want other people to find our show and see these wonderful guests on our show, we need to be bumped up in iTunes. So please go out there and give us a 5-star iTunes review so that we'll bump up on the Hearthstone search in iTunes. That will really help us out.
All right, guys. So, Jon, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in Hearthstone.
So I guess my friends just started playing one day, and then I was like, "Oh, what's this game?" And they were like, "Oh, dude, it's Hearthstone. You gotta play this." So I ended up playing for about a year, just nonstop. Loved the game. Got pretty much most of the cards that I need, and then I actually got to UW and the University of Washington, and noticed that there wasn't a UW club for Hearthstone or anything. So I ended up just saying, "Hey, why don't we start one?" So it was me and my friends, and I was like, "All right, well, there's fairly it's just pretty much us." So there wasn't really anybody else. I just put it on Facebook as UW Hearthstone. Some random people just randomly joined, and I was like, "Dude, this is just me and my friends." But more and more people joined, and I ended up really thinking, "Hey, maybe this should be a thing." So I ended up creating the Washington Gaming Association Hearthstone, which now is about 300 members, and it's going really strong. So it's kind of how I got into Hearthstone.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now let's tell us a little bit about the UW Gaming Association. So you guys do more than just Hearthstone on campus, obviously.
Right. So we used to actually be our own separate entities. So we used to have like League of Legends, Smash, and all these different games. We also be like separate, but we all decided to kind of get together, communicate with each other, and now we're under kind of an umbrella corporation, which is Washington Gaming Association, and that pretty much encompasses all the different games at UW. And it's not just like gaming stuff; it's like board games. There's like Pokemon. There's pen and paper, so like Dungeons and Dragons. So all these types of games were kind of the encompassing thing, and I actually just became the vice president for that organization. So I'm both the president for Hearthstone and the vice president of the entire organization.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, the gaming association itself is an official University of Washington entity. Is that correct?
Yes, we are officially a club right now. We're working on becoming a little bit more than a club, like actually part of the like the sports. So like we're trying
Part
to
of the
work on
athletics department.
yeah, actually part of the athletics department. So that'd be really a big step kind of forward.
Well, I know recently there was a lot of news about the University of California, Irvine actually getting a esports division in their athletic department, and they were building them a whole new like esports arena on campus. Have you guys thought about maybe doing something like that for
Like starting
for on the University of Washington's campus?
like starting in esports. So we do have it. It's called actually Washington Esports. They're also part of WGA as well. So we're like all working together. What I'm trying to do is essentially have all the clubs do their own fun activities. Like we were talking about kind of at the summit, is just doing a lot of just fun things for people to do, not necessarily competitive, but something for people to just come in, hang out, enjoy, not having to have that dedication to like be in a tournament. So that's my goal for right now as the organization, as just those clubs can just have fun and people can just drop in and just say hi.
Okay.
Now, the esports part is where we're going to host and have a lot of the more competitive sense, and they're going to be seeking out a lot of these collegiate tournaments, especially like TESPA tournaments, and we're going to be working on reaching out to other collegiates like organizations like UC Irvine and University of British Columbia and all these different types of colleges that have their own esports programs, and hopefully get some like really cool matches and kind of some fun stuff there.
Okay. Well, let's jump right into that. Tell us a little bit about TESPA for anybody who might not know what TESPA is in general. Kind of give us a broad overview, and then how TESPA kind of ties in to what you guys are doing at UW.
Sure. So TESPA is a collegiate organization. It was actually founded in Texas, hence it was originally called Texas Esports Association. And they have actually eventually broadened out, and kind of there are over like 160 colleges in the country now. And they pretty much are sort of a sponsorship. They are actually an entity through Blizzard, which they pretty much help out all these collegiates or colleges all over the country. They kind of give us support. There's, I believe, a small fee for a TESPA like package, but it comes with like a shirt, and it comes with all these really cool things. And essentially, they really help out our locations for, say, support. So we get a lot of like TESPA sponsored things, and we also get more event package supports. Like the first one we have for this upcoming year, I think might be Steel Series. And, there's just a bunch of like really big companies that will work with TESPA in order to pretty much like provide us a really great experience for our kind of a large events.
Okay. So Matt at Arms in chat's asking, do you know how much the TESPA dues are?
TESPA dues? So if you are part of a college and they are kind of with TESPA, it's actually $10 for the package, and it comes with a shirt, a pen. I think it's going to come with some other cool swag things, and it also comes with obviously the Delaran Flame card back for Hearthstone as well.
Which is the most important part.
Right.
Because everybody, when you think of TESPA, you think, oh, that card back I can't have.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll be honest. I've seen those card backs going on eBay for as much as like $80 a code, which is just crazy if you ask me.
Right. It's pretty expensive.
But well, that's cool. That's cool. So guys, I've been just chatting away. Zeroshio, Versika, do either of you guys have any questions for Jon about TESPA or Hearthstone?
I actually had mine answered. I was going to ask the question Matt at Arms asked is the dues, because we do have a lot of college players that would like the TESPA card back, but they don't even know about TESPA or how to get it, and and some of them would tell you that $10 to them is equal to that card back. They would pay $10 just for the card back, but you're saying you get all kinds of other swag.
Yeah,
and
the
you
shirt
also
is really nice.
And you also get into the TESPA organization if you're ever interested in esports. The college group is going to help you, right?
Right. It's a really good community. I went on the TESPA Summit, which was like 20 selected chosen leaders all over the country, 5 from every region. So I was one of the 5 from West, which was amazing because there's a lot of different schools. Like I beat some of the Cali schools and pretty much showed how dedicated I was, and I was one of the chosen ones. It was such a great experience. It was like a 4-day long Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and like obviously you guys have probably heard a little bit of stuff from the Hearthstone Summit, but this one it was just like it was a whole nother just amazing experience because I got to learn how to run organization, and I got to pretty much connect with all these powerful leaders across the country and see kind of how they run things, and there's pros and cons for everything, and got to meet a lot of really cool people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I saw your pictures. Like, I guess it was the week after we got back from being out there. You were back out there again. I was just like, holy cow!
Yeah. One crazy month. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, sounds.
We
like
needed just one crazy picture of Abantes while he was in California.
Nope, none of that. I did a really good job of avoiding pictures that I wasn't taking. So there were a couple pictures taken on the bus, but I just kind of ducked back behind the chair in front of me. So but
we gotta work on your PR skills.
So back to the TESPA. So you basically started all of this on the UW campus. You were part of the founding members of this group, right?
Right.
So if say somebody wanted to go about, say there's a college student, or let's use Versika's stepson, for instance. Versika's stepson's going to be a freshman at University of Tennessee this fall. Say he wanted to start something like this, what kind of advice or recommendations would you have for him going forward?
Right. So I would definitely start by just trying to reach out to your local community. There's going to be probably some sort of gaming kind of club at the university, and a lot of the times they just are kind of unaware of, anybody around, like anybody but the university. So a lot of the people won't actually, reach out to a lot of people outside, say, the university. And it's just, you want to be able to kind of chime into all the gaming organizations and see, is there sort of a connection? Are there people that are just running their own things, or is there kind of a link? And what TESPA likes to see is they like to see sort of a unity in an organization. Something that was kind of a roadblock when I first started to contact TESPA is that it was just Hearthstone that was interested in TESPA, and it was kind of hard to get a lot of the other organizations kind of along with it. And eventually, I ended up starting out just with Hearthstone, but really grew and talked with a lot of the local people and got to have a lot better connection with them. And it was great. We got to learn a lot. And, I'm friends with a lot of the leaders at my own university, and we all work together as a team. And TESPA really appreciates that. So I would say kind of advice would be, see if there's an organization. If there's not, start one. Get people that are involved. Start hosting events. Finding ways for people to be interested. And something that like obviously Avantis is really good at is like running events. Definitely take advantage of that. See if you can contact anybody, not just from the university, but even just locally, and see if you guys can kind of work together, bring something big. And if you guys can do that on more of a consistent basis, then every year, I think they are still accepting applications. So, I mean, try applying, see if you guys can contact TESPA and maybe set up a meeting and see where you guys can go from there.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Versika, do you have any questions?
No, you've actually done a really good job of walking everybody through it. And both of my questions were answered along the way. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Zeroshio, you got anything else you want to ask John before we move into the news?
No, just well, I did have one more quick question. Is TESPA restricted just to your 4-year big colleges, or can the smaller colleges still register with TESPA?
Yeah, pretty much any collegiate, like any colleges. So it doesn't have to be an exclusive 4-year big college. There's a lot of colleges actually that some of the leaders that came from, like, they say East Coast, or I guess you guys are East Coast, but the people that came like just from random locations, one of their schools is as big as 7,000, 6,000 people.
Wow.
Mine is like 50,000, 55,000. So that's huge.
UW's a big school. I'm a long-time college football fan, so I follow all the major programs. So yeah, I'm well aware of the size of UW, and it's got to be a pretty big undertaking.
Right.
How many people do you have involved administratively in the gaming association?
Oh boy. Administration wise, we have like 4 to 5 per club. So per game, and then we have like 5 people in the head of the entire thing. So roughly maybe 30, 35 people total.
Okay.
Do a lot of them pull double duty like you do, being president of Hearthstone Club and the vice president?
No, not actually that much. Some people will like. I know there's one that's head of the Magic the Gathering Club, and he's part of like the events coordinator for
Gotcha.
The entire thing. So a lot of people try to do it. It's just only a couple that actually end up doing it, type of thing.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I would have loved to have had something like this when I was going to school.
Yeah. Now, there's a question. So let's say, just again hypothetically, Versika's son were to start something when he gets to school and gets a club going. What does TESPA have rules for, like you said, reaching outside the university? Like, say they wanted to reach out to me as the Knoxville innkeeper to help to coordinate and organize. Am I allowed to be involved with the group on campus, or do you know how that would work?
So it kind of depends on how the outside sources want to be involved. Specifically, what it should start off with is see what the college people want. Like, if there are people that kind of have their own lands or any sort of gaming opportunity, reach out to them. See, it's like, oh, would you guys like to see a club in maybe like this? Or, if there's not a Hearthstone club, start one. Like, I would say, if there isn't one, definitely take the opportunity to start it. And that's exactly what I did. And because of that, I've learned so much and gained so much from it. And people will appreciate it. They'll want to come because gamers like to kind of join up in a community. And when you do that, start off small. I mean, don't bite off more than you can chew, type of thing. As soon as you kind of start building that small bit of community and have a regular following, then you would want to maybe reach out to outside people and see if they can sort of help. Maybe you guys can coordinate a big, large event, maybe host it at maybe a local card shop, and see if you can kind of work towards that, or even if they can. So yeah, so a lot of it's just like location. If you can get a venue type of thing,
Gotcha.
and Yeah, so a lot of the card shop places will have their own regular members, right? Like their regulars, and a lot of it can kind of intertwine with some of the college people. So it's always good to kind of, have them come together, and it'll bring a lot bigger like presence for an event. And that type of thing is what, a lot of places like to see is like a huge community rather than just a very small community.
All
Okay,
right.
cool. I think that pretty much answers all of my questions about TESPA that I had for you. So let's move on to the news. Zeroshio, why don't you take over here and lead us into our first bit of news?
Yeah. First bit is Hearthstone just patched yesterday, like they normally do on Tuesdays, and it pretty much is just a preparatory patch for the One Night in Karazhan that comes out tomorrow. There are some minor changes. They did change all of the token minions mana cost up by one, and I think a lot of this is for some of the effects from Whispers of the Old Gods and going into One Night in Karazhan, just to kind of evolution is actually going to be a little better. Actually gets affected by this better, but that's only the real big change that you saw, other than all the behind the scenes stuff for Karazhan. And then obviously One Night in Karazhan releases tomorrow ish sometime. I don't know when that'll be exactly. They have released at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time before, but they have been getting better at releasing those so that everybody kind of benefits all the way over in Europe as well as the Americas. So I expect it probably midday tomorrow or early, just afternoon.
Well, if they've in the past when they've released an adventure or an expansion, and they try to release too many time zones at once, they tend to crash the site, the real money site for the purchases. So I would expect that tomorrow, when this starts to release, they'll stagger it and try to relieve some of that pressure on the real money transactions.
I would like them to do that. I don't think they're going to do that specifically because of streamers. You're going to have those streamers that immediately want to jump on and start streaming the wings and racing to whoever opens it first. And if they do it staggered through the United States, that's just not going to happen.
Well, I don't think they'll stagger it through the U.S. I think they'll stagger it by region, though.
But you're talking about like Americas and Europe.
Right.
I guess that makes a little more sense. I think there was a 4-hour difference last time.
Yeah, because they stagger the Tavern Brawls each week. So the Tavern Brawl releases in the U.S. first, and then it releases in Europe like 4 hours later, and then I think it releases in Asia Pacific 4 hours after that, if I remember correctly. John, do you know exactly?
I don't. Yeah, I'm actually not entirely sure.
Okay, I know it's staggered between U.S. or NA and EU. I'm just not sure about the others. I would imagine they do. And I imagine, like we were talking about, they will probably stagger the release that way. Not by time zone, but by region.
And speaking of the release of One Night in Karazhan tomorrow, what are you guys' thoughts on the adventure as a whole? And let's start with John. What do you think of the new adventure?
I personally really like it. There's a lot of interesting cards that I feel like can actually change the meta, and it's something that brings kind of a new life into some of the decks you'll be seeing, especially like Beast Druid. I feel like that's gonna be a really cool deck coming out, and they've been working really hard on getting the Beast cards. So I'm really excited to see that.
I officially like you, John, because you and I were buddies.
Right.
Zeroshio's our resident druid expert, so.
I know.
Expert meaning I ran combo constantly, and everybody hated me. So.
Right. I also think Priest is probably going to be the new best class by far. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Right. Kappa.
Okay. Real quick, in the chat, Mr. Nasty asks, are they going to open the prologue, then the first wing the following week, or will it be both? It will be both tomorrow. We'll have the prologue and the first wing release, and then the second wing will be the week after, the third wing the week after, the fourth wing the week after. So we got lots of Hearthstone to look forward to over the next few.
So it is a 4-week rollout, which is important to note with prelims coming up.
Yeah.
Right. So those that don't know, the summer prelims coming up, they actually will allow the first wing to be present in the summer preliminaries and only the first wing. So when it actually happens, it's kind of a toss in the air because the meta is going to be so different with these new cards.
Now that's first wing for the Americas prelim, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Is European is that this weekend?
That is this weekend.
Okay, so there won't be any this weekend because they've already submitted their decks.
Correct.
Asia Pacific will be the weekend after America, so they'll get 2 weeks worth, right?
Right.
And that really just throws things off for me. I mean, I love it because I love seeing innovative decks, a la the Reno decks, and we'll go into more of that shortly. So I love how it puts it on tilt, but these players have to be really stressed out.
Yeah, I have 3 people from my location, personally that I know, that will be in the summer preliminaries, and they're struggling right now because they have nothing to base off of, like, for anything. They have no way of knowing how well these decks are gonna do, what is the best way, and it's like not even the entire deck, or it's like not the entire set is going to be out when they're making their decks, and it's only like a partial amount, so it's like a meta that won't even possibly be a meta when everything's released. So
yeah, and furthermore, you only have a week to test these decks out because they're just being released, and for those that do qualify for the top 8, when you go to summer championship, you're going to have the entire adventure out, so that's going to change the meta even more. So while you might have played against or scouted out one of the other players in the top 8, who knows what they're going to bring because they've got a whole new set of cards and they probably changed the meta up like crazy. I love this time within Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of great Hearthstone to watch on Twitch. You know, watch because like you said, we're gonna watch the European preliminaries. And it's going to be completely different when we watch the NA prelims, and it's going to be completely different when we watch the Asia Pacific prelims, because there's going to be different cards. And then come spring championships, who knows? So Zeroshia, what are your thoughts on the set?
I love it. I do know there's a lot of controversial cards, and there's a lot of controversial metas that are going to come from this, like the more spell power based shamans and some of the spell based metas within classes that normally aren't spell based. Well, secret mage one thing, but that's going to be similar to a tempo style, but a secret hunter that relies very heavily on spells, possibly using lock and load. You're also going to see the menagerie decks, probably more out of Paladin, called it. If y'all didn't see the Friday demo, Menagerie Paladin was played by Dean Ixar. So I'm so excited for this set. I want to see how it's going to affect tournament scene. I can't wait to be at the spring prelims in Knoxville over at Level Up Games and see what kind of decks are brought there.
All right, cool. Versika, what are your thoughts on the set as a whole?
I think it's a good set. I think it's coming out at a good time. The meta didn't swing like we thought it would, and I think that this is going to I think it's going to force a mix-up. They're going to have to account the players are going to have to account for new synergies and new combinations and cards that I feel like can put some pressure on some of these decks that have been running rampant. I don't know how much of the Seat Story Cup that you guys watched, but I really enjoyed watching Jackie Chan play that tournament because a lot of what he brought was not really random, but it was very YOLO And one of the things that I liked was that he didn't necessarily take the normal lines of play. And in contrast, there were several players that were playing just basic, right out of the meta deck list zoo. And I wasn't interested in watching those. I ended up, moving forward. I didn't get to watch it live. I was watching it on VOD, so I just move on to the next match. So I think from a viewership standpoint, the introduction of Karazhan is going to mix up the meta in a way that you're going to want to tune in to watch every single play. And I think that's a good place for Hearthstone to be in coming into BlizzCon, coming into the release of news of the next expansion, which time is ticking down for when that's going to be released. It's going to be sooner rather than later now. So now you're looking at these synergies, and you got to wonder what Blizzard's going to do coming out that this adventure is setting up. And I think that's an exciting part about Hearthstone right now is you've got that adventure setting up the meta, and that's just going to be great. And a lot of people are kind of not digging the disco theme. I think it was great to pair Karazhan with a disco party style theme, because Karazhan's very dark. You get in there, it's almost, the music's like you're riding through the Haunted Mansion at Disney or something. I mean, it's got a lot of organ and all this stuff, and now you've thrown in a disco ball, and I personally I think it's great.
Well, you know why they did that, right? Because Karazhan is a 70s raid from World of Warcraft.
I love the theme, by the way.
Get it? Level 70s,
Oh,
70s, Saturday Night Fever. Okay, come on now.
The theme is really catchy, though.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Love the
It is.
theme.
Yeah. So, all right. So we've talked about what everybody thinks of it as a whole. John, what's the one card coming out of Karazhan that you're looking forward to the most?
The one card from Karazhan. That's a good question. I gotta find the cards again.
Oh, and you're not allowed to say Purify because that's the easy answer.
Oh my gosh.
Man, that was mine. God.
Oh, actually, the one card I think is gonna be pretty interesting is the Curator.
Okay. Okay.
'Cause I'm curious to see how. I mean, pretty much you can have really like crazy synergies with this card. Obviously, it's a Beast Dragon and Murloc, right? But it doesn't mean you have to run all three. You could have a Beast Dragon deck or a Murloc. I was thinking Murloc Beast, but I'm like, that's so weird. Even a Murloc Dragon deck, like, oh my gosh, Deathwing, and then a Murloc.
Well,
Yeah.
if you put it in Paladin, you get the best Murloc in the game, which is Murloc Knight.
Right, that is true.
Yeah, which brings you more. See, I've actually been theory crafting this all week, and I've already got my deck built on Hearthstone, and I'm running I'm running 3 Murlocs: Vile Inquisitor, Murloc Knight, and War Leader, and then I'm running 1 Beast in Mookless Champion. Guarantees I get it into my hand on turn 7 when I cast Curator. Next turn I can cast it and tap my hero power to buff everything on the board.
Interesting.
Do you
Yeah.
have Alexstrasza in that deck? Because you have to have Alexstrasza in that deck. I mean, if you put only Alexstrasza, you're guaranteed to get Alexstrasza in your game.
That's true, but no, I'm actually running mostly dragons. I'm playing it like Dragon Paladin
Okay.
with a dash of Murlocs and 1 single beast.
Salt and pepper.
There you go. All right, so Zeroshio, what's your favorite card you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to all the Menagerie cards, but my favorite is the Menagerie Warden from Druid. It's a 6 mana 5/5, and you target a beast and you summon a copy of it. Now, this is any beast that you have in play, but it also copies any buffs that are on it.
Okay.
So if you go ahead and do any of your beast buffs or any of the multitude of druid buffs that are out there, it will copy those as well.
Okay. Versika, how about you?
I'm kind of torn. First of all, I really like the Curator. I think the Curator is a good card. I think it's going to be pretty broken, but I like it. But I'm torn between the Not Bane Templar and the Wicked Witch Doctor. I really like the tempo play of the Not Bane Templar. As long as you're holding a dragon. So if it's great into Dragon Paladin, and I think it gives Dragon Paladin some much needed early game. But as a Shaman player, I really like Wicked Witch Doctor, and that's the one where when you cast a spell, you summon a random basic totem.
Mm-hmm.
I think that helps shore up what I consider a deficiency in the Shaman hero power when compared to other hero powers. So being able to put that out and eliminating one of the totems that may randomly pop up from your hero power gives you a better chance of getting the one that you actually want.
That makes sense.
Yeah, in the end, it's a 3/4 for 4, so it's a good body as well. And Shaman needs some of that early game, good bodies without overload. Honorable mention to Spirit Claws, though. I really like Spirit Claws. So I think you may actually start to see some C'Thun Shaman finally.
Yeah, that could be interesting. So my pick, and I'm gonna go ahead and apologize to you now, Versika, because my pick is a hunter card. But my pick is Cloaked Huntress. 3 mana, 3/4. All your secrets cost 0. I think this card is going to be really, really good. John, I'm looking. What's going on, John? Come on now.
That's so broken. This card's gonna be such. Oh my gosh! It's actually be huge for mid-range hunter. Like even though mid-range hunter has already gone a lot better with Call of the Wild, from Whispers of the Old God. This is just gonna like top that. This is like, hey, turn 3. Let me put 3 of my secrets. Oh wait, I already have a weapon out. Good luck.
So here's my question: how tempted do you think Team 5 was to call this Cloak Challenger?
Headshake. Yes. Oh,
disapproving headshake.
That was. I'm gonna give you Zeroshi. That was your good one of the week. So
I'm cut off.
You're cut off. That was your good one. So, all right, yeah.
You're on probation now.
I'm really looking forward to this card coming out, and I cannot wait to just kind of play around with it and see. Like John says, I agree. I believe this card is really broken, really OP, and I cannot wait to see it actually out in the meta.
With the multitude of hunter traps that there are, or secrets, do you think the new secret cat trick, which is a 2 mana secret, and when your opponent casts a spell, you get a 4/2 beast with stealth? Do you think that has a place in that deck, or maybe a rotation out of another trap?
I think it absolutely has a place in that deck. And, some of the things that I've seen on this card, and somehow I just knew you were going to pick this, Avantes. So I did some studying up on it. And there's a lot of people out there that agree with me. A 3/4 in any other class would have either been given a higher mana cost, which, by the way, the card I just talked about in Shaman was a 3/4 for what?
4.
Okay, so here you give a 3/4 for 3 any other class, and it's going to get an absolute crap ability unless it's Paladin. It just goes to show that you can't get rid of cancer, no matter how much you try and treat it, and how much you do what you need to do. It always comes back.
I mean, they needed to add another like alternate to Spider Tank because it's not in standard anymore. So I mean, there it is, specifically for Hunter.
That's right.
I honestly, out of all the cards in the set, I think this one, and that's why I said I don't think Curator is the most broken card in the set, because this one is still out there. But I really do. I don't look forward to playing this card, so it's one of those things.
All right. Well, let's talk about a card everybody's looking forward to playing.
Do you think, with possible secret mage and this new secret hunter's coming out, that secret eater might be in the meta.
Oh, if you're not teching Secret Eater, there's going to be a problem. I think everybody's going to start seeing it. You know, Secret Eater is one of those cards. I used to play. You know, all three of us, John. I don't know if you know our backstory, but all three of us have about 20 years of Magic under our belt. So we've been playing CCGs for years. Secret Eater in the Magic community would be an auto include in every sideboard in the meta.
Yep.
Since
Absolutely.
there's not a sideboard in Hearthstone, I think you almost have to make space in the deck for at least one.
And
Right.
see, I guess that's where I have my biggest problem with the card, because now it's taking another slot where you can't really choose a card. If you don't take in that card, you're going to get beaten down.
What
And
about
I don't
Karazhan?
think that's fun.
What about
Karazhan
what?
Mystic?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Kazan Mystic.
but I mean, if you went to a high level tournament and you didn't have Kazan Mystic in your deck, then you were throttled by Secret Paladin or you were throttled by Freeze Mage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think this is putting us in the exact same situation.
And I get what you're saying. I understand you're at a card deficit when you're making your deck and going up to matchups. But if you face those decks that you're teching for, you're actually probably getting a 3 or 4 card in the positive, because you may be getting rid of that many secrets, especially, I believe, with the new secret hunter deck, and not so much the mage deck, but the hunter will probably have 3 or 4 secrets out at one time.
Well, the mage is going to be playing those too, because Medivh's Valet is amazing.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
It's a 2-mana fire elemental.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they didn't give that one to Hunter.
And just so people know it, Medivh's Valet is 2 mana. Is it a 2/2?
2/3.
2/3. And if you have a secret, deal 3 damage.
Yep. So it's good. You know what? I see that card and I think, control a secret, kill a tunnel trog.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. I mean, Mad
And-
Scientist could still be in the format.
And now we know
true.
why
That's
Vasika
true.
doesn't like it. He loves his
No.
tunnel trogs.
I actually don't play a lot of Tunnel Trog. But I guess my biggest point, and I didn't want to come across as saying, oh, this can't be beaten. Taking in those cards gives you a better chance at beating those. My problem will be that 4 out of every 6 matches I play on the ladder, I'll have to play that in order to advance. And that saps every single bit of the fun out of laddering for me. So I'll end up playing casual most of the time, just so I don't have to run into 4 of these hunters right in a row.
Yeah,
I'm
now
just going to tech straight against them, play Paladin, and eat them up.
See Me No More in chat says, don't forget that it takes a pretty draw intensive deck to play a secret heavy deck. You
Well,
have to
other
be able
than
to draw.
Mysterious Challenger,
Well, yeah.
Paladin, but yes.
So, you're kind of having to build specifically into that, and that may cause a lot of people not to run that, but
Right.
Well, it's something that what the chat room broke up to, or something the chat room brought up too, is now you're going to have complex secret synergies. Like the example that brought up by the chat room, and I'm sorry that I didn't see your name before it went by. They were asking a flame strike because it will trigger a cat trick if it will end up killing the cat trick, and it's my understanding that flame strike will end up killing the cat trick because it triggers when the spell is activated and then the effect goes off. So the cat trick would land in play and then be swallowed up by the flame strike.
okay.
And that was brought to us by Dusharmo.
Yes.
Another mention in chat, I am JJ mentions that Lock and Load is really going to help in that Hunter secret deck because it can 1-for-1 as you're playing those free secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy combo. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to playing it and seeing how it works. It sounds like a lot of fun in my head, and when I actually look at it on paper, it looks even more fun. Once I actually get it out on the ladder, though, that's a whole nother story. We'll have to wait and see what that looks like. So let's talk about the one card that everybody's been talking about all week. In fact, Ben Brode even talked about it this week. Let's talk about Purify. Now, everybody's been down on this card. If you're not familiar with Purify, I don't know where you've been or where you've been hiding, but
Not Reddit.
Yeah, you've not been on Reddit, that's for sure. It's a 2-mana, silence a friendly minion, draw a card.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, you can combo it with like was it Ancient Watcher?
Ancient Eerie Statue?
Yeah,
Yep.
so many synergy stuff. Wow.
Eerie Statue gives Priest a 4-mana 7/7. Everybody's complaining about 4-mana
And you
7/7s.
can draw.
Yeah, and the other, and from a wild standpoint, this also I think benefits people in wild a little more than benefits people in standard, because now all of a sudden Fel Reaver is an auto include in your deck.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, what was the only reason you didn't play Fel Reaver? Was because guaranteed the next turn your opponent was going to make you burn 10 cards. Well, now you don't have to worry about that.
Telling you, Purify OP.
That's right. Now,
And Ice Howl,
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people are comparing this to a Flame Wreath, the combo with Eerie Statue with Flame Wreath Faceless, where 4 mana 2 overload being the Purify, you get a 7/7. That's not entirely fair because you do get to draw a card, and it doesn't really limit your next turn. If you need that mana and don't want to Purify, you can hold off on it. I'm not as angry about Purify. I have a lot of really good deck ideas, which I'm going to pull over Sika and not reveal them right yet because I want to save them for our patrons when I make the deck. But I can't. The big thing I saw when I saw was like, I can make a deck out of this, but I hate to see this in Arena. And we have a link in our show notes to Ben Brode's PSA about this card and his thoughts on it and the whole of Team 5 since it was released. And they have made an adjustment so that Purify will not show up in Arena.
Right.
Yes, that's correct.
Don't like this decision because pretty soon you're going to have a huge outcry of people saying we don't want Magma Rager in Arena. We don't want Amgam Rager. There's going to be we don't want Silence in there. There are going to be tons of different cards that they're not going to want in Arena since they've done this. So they're setting a precedence. I don't think they mean to.
So right now, also not available in Arena is any of the C'Thun stuff, correct?
I think some of the C'Thun cards are, but the C'Thun and the original C'Thun that came out when you got it for free that first week, those two aren't in it. But is it none of the C'Thun cards?
my understanding that none of the C'Thun cards are in.
Because there's some really good C'Thun cards that are good without the C'Thun ability.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
chat, if you know, let us know.
yeah, it's my.
I've been playing a lot of Arena and I haven't seen them. I will be honest and say I haven't seen them, but there are some that I would love. I love the 4/2 with Divine Shield.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
I love the 2/1 that does the Disciple that does 2 damage for 3 mana. There's a lot of really good ones I'd love to see in Arena. The Taunt and Druid. I think that would make Druid even stronger in Arena.
Dark
so I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Dark Arakoa. I don't know if that was really again, I'm not a big fan of restricting things in Arena. Now, they have said they've already have big plans to adjust and change Arena to make the Arena players a little happier and enjoy the game a little more. But they haven't divulged any information about that yet.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, so Purify, guys, our opinion is it may not be that bad. It may not be as bad as everybody's making it out to be.
Did we get Versika's opinion yet?
Well, I tend to agree with you guys. I think it has its uses. And like I said, I think Fel Reaver is a great use for it if you're playing in Wild right now. Anything mech, whether it be mech mage or mech shaman. I mean, if you're playing in Wild right now, you've got to be loving this, because now you can play mech priest.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, honestly, do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
It suddenly makes mech priest a little more viable. First glance, the the other classes look like they have more powerful cards. But when you actually look at the set as a whole, I don't know that anyone got a huge power boost except for probably Paladin and Hunter. And those are really the two classes that didn't need it. So I don't know whether... I don't know if they're going for like a feed the fire till it burns out type thing. Maybe they're trying to give Paladin and Hunter so many good cards that they can't choose 30 to put in their deck.
So honestly, like Hunter and Paladin were actually the ones that got nerfed and lacked this format once Whispers of the Old Gods came out. Just because if you look at all the high level tournament play, rarely will ever see a Paladin. I saw maybe 1 or 2 Hunters when I was spectating the Asia Championships.
And it's really
didn't
not
see
strong.
much. Right, it's not the best deck actually. So I think getting those cards will really bring that up. However, they really needed to do something with Priest because you're not going to see any Priest right now. That's for sure.
Yeah,
And
probably not.
my big question on the pro comments about Purify making decks like you were talking about Versika with the Fell Reavers and the Eerie Statues, why would Purify make that happen more than Silence at 0 mana? Is it because of the card draw?
Yes.
Okay. So the card draw outweighs the 2 mana.
I think so, and I also think that if you're taking Silence into your deck, you're probably taking it in to silence your opponent's minions. You're probably not going to silence your own because it's not part of the plan going in. I think this, because of the card draw, I think that now you can take this in as a novice engineer of sorts. So, used in conjunction with cards that reduce the mana cost, like Emperor Thaurissan, now suddenly these combinations, you get Emperor T has to be on the board 1 turn, and suddenly it's a 1-for-1. The silence is just a bonus, so you're right back where you started with the others, with the 0 casting cost silence, and you can still put that in your deck and use it on something offensively if you want to, or you can still use the Iron Beak Owl or the Spellbreaker, whichever you're doing. You can also, if you're playing a Reno Mech Priest, which could be a thing, now you've got another. Now you can silence your Ancient Watcher and still have silences left over for your opponent's minions.
Okay.
Like you're going to have to find a place for it. It's not a must include in every Priest deck like this Hunter card is.
Here we go.
I mean, just being honest, you're not going to include Purify in every maybe 2% of the Priest decks out there.
Yeah.
But in the decks where it is worked into what it's supposed to do, I think this could be a card that does a really good job of changing tempo or changing momentum around. And because not a lot of people like it, it's going to be a card that not a lot of people see coming.
Yeah. I want to point out in chat that IMJJ says that Mage got some beef and that pretty much all of their cards are playable on some level. And I think that's going to be huge in the meta going forward. Desharmo says, Babbling Book is good. Firelands Portal is good. I'm really a big fan of the Mage cards as a whole that are coming out in this set.
So really quick, let's just talk about the portals. I know that this wasn't in the show notes, and let's just touch on it real quick. So Maelstrom Portal is the Shaman Portal. Mm-hmm. 1 damage to all enemy minions, summon a random 1-cost minion. Is that a meh card, or do you think it's something Shaman needed?
I originally thought this is horrible. It's a Arcane Nova with a little 2/2 body. And I didn't like it. Now, because they seem to be pushing this spell damage type Shaman, I think it has a place in spell damage Shaman where that 1 damage can turn into 2 or 3 along with your Spirit Claw, which now is a 3/3 weapon. So I think it has a place. I think that's the reason it has such a low value is because they expect spell damage Shaman to be a thing.
My biggest thing is
a Purify.
Do what?
It's a Purify.
Is it?
Personally, I think that it doesn't. First off, it doesn't have Overload, kind of big for Shaman. Second off, like it depends on how the meta swings. If it's gonna be a lot of aggression and a lot of aggro decks, then I think Maelstrom Portal is actually gonna have a place in this format. But if we don't see any like sort of aggression, or I know there's been a lot of like token druids, so a lot of 1/1s like Onyxia, Wisps of the Old Gods have been seen in like token druid. It could possibly be seen, but other than that, though, I don't see it being played too much.
Okay, so Ironforge Portal, the warrior version. Gain
Yeah.
4 armor, summon a random 4-cost minion.
I don't like it. I don't think it's worth the armor for the mana value, and 4-cost minions inherently are easy to deal with.
Right.
Okay.
What about you, Avantes?
I'm not a fan of that one either. I actually sat down and looked at most of the 4-cost minions, trying to figure out what would be the best possible outcome that you could get off of that. And I'm thinking,
Corcoran Elite.
yeah, I mean, a Corcoran Elite would be good because it can charge. There's not a lot, maybe 2 or 3 total. That would be beneficial.
Better or worse than Maelstrom Portal?
Worse. I think, again, I think Maelstrom Portal is much better.
I mean, best case scenario, you get a Flame Wreath.
Yeah, that would be a best case.
Yeah, fair enough. Best case scenario, you can get an eerie statue.
Okay, so everyone knows about Firelands Portal, Mage.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
What about Moonglade Portal?
Yes.
Personally, I think it's the best of the portals.
I agree.
Yeah.
6 for us. Restore 6 health, summon a random 6-cost minion. I think that's huge. I think that's a huge momentum swing in a mana slot that Druid has typically struggled to get good tempo on the board.
I feel like they should have made a 5-cost minion just because it will fit the other cards sort of a little bit better. Just because it's like it's pretty much a minion, and you gain health. Like it's with the same cost. Is what I'm saying. Like 6 mana for 6 cost.
Here's the thing. It's better than Firelands Portal, and I'll tell you why. Firelands Portal, you get a 5-mana minion. You can get a lot of 3/3s out of a 5-mana minion. There are a lot of 3/3s that have good battle cries that come out as, they're 5 mana for a 3/3.
Right.
Horrible value. In Druid, people say, well, there's a lot of good, strong 5-mana minions. Yeah, they're good and strong with some form of choose one effect.
Right.
They're not necessarily strong on their own, just being summoned. 6 mana is loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get Sylvanas,
Exactly.
you could get Emperor Thorson.
Yeah.
I mean, the list just goes on.
That's what I was gonna say. When I read this card, I read restore 6 health, summon a random 6-cost minion. If my opponent plays it, it's restore 6 health, summon Sylvanas every time. Never fails.
So Silver Moon Portal. It's a Paladin, 4 casting cost, give a minion +2/+2, summon a random 2-cost minion. Yay or nay?
I'm kind of on the fence about this one because I'm looking at it as give a minion +2/+2 and have the possibility to summon the
Doomsayer.
No. Well, yes, but also
That's what it would be if I cast it.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Is it summon any 2-mana minion, or is it restricted to standard? Because if you have a chance to summon the 2/2 with Divine Shield,
It's
Yeah.
my
No,
understanding it will
it'll
follow
be
the
only-
rules.
Yeah. If
Okay.
you have it in a wild deck, you could get a shielded mini bot.
okay,
Yeah.
But if you have it in a standard deck, you will not get a shielded mini bot.
yeah,
And there are too many. We've learned from the past that the worst mana costs to try to summon
Is 2.
are 2 and 4.
That's correct. Yeah,
Also, in like competitive, just buffing is not really that strong anymore. You won't see that much like buff. Yeah, pretty much. I think it's kind of like, would you rather have a +2/+2 and a 2-cost minion, or the one that does +4/+4, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Blessing of Kings is definitely a better card than this.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a guaranteed 2/2 more.
Matt
yeah.
at Arms in chat says for 4 mana, True Silver and Blessing of Kings are just better cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I completely agree. Now, I didn't remember seeing a priest portal. Did I
There-
just miss
there
it?
was
Or
not.
is
There is
There
not
were
a
only
priest
5.
portal. there's not a rogue portal, and there's not a hunter
Not a
portal.
hunter portal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, and there had to be one more that's not a portal.
Rogue.
Said
Warlock.
rogue.
Rogue,
Warlock doesn't
hunter,
have a portal.
Warlock.
Warlock
and-
doesn't have a portal. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
That's
right.
right.
Okay. So yeah, there's only 5. So
All right.
all right. So moving on. Let's talk. We've talked about Purify, and we're all kind of on it. You know, we don't think it's as bad as everybody's making it out to be. Let's talk about this week's Tavern Brawl. Has anybody had a chance to play this week's Tavern Brawl yet?
I have.
It is so much fun. This week's Tavern Brawl is called A Dark Recipe. Care for a taste of the old god's power? Pick a class, and we'll give you a taste of the old god's recipe for that class to do battle. So these are pre-constructed decks, and so far, these decks have all been pretty good.
Yes, and furthermore, I'm not sure who built all the decks. I know that Ixar over on Team 5 builds a lot of the decks they test out with, and he's very, very good at building these decks. Now, I've only had a chance to play Druid and Rogue. I wanted to try Priest to see if maybe Ben Brode's Secret Unicorn deck has gotten in there somehow. One thing that's really neat about this is not only does it give you a deck that they built for Whispers of the Old Gods, but it gives you a tip on how to play it at the beginning of the game. And it tells you how your opponent's going to play theirs at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I misunderstood because when I read this, I thought it was pulling from the deck recipe in your deck recipes that was the old god recipe.
I didn't check.
fair?
It might be.
Yeah, I didn't compare.
I didn't
deck
compare
list.
them. It's possible now.
Because I played Druid and went straight into Druid C'Thun, which is right off
That's what
the
I got
recipe.
too.
Okay, well,
If it's right off the recipe, then it may just be the recipe decks. Now,
the rogue is a Death Rattle Nazoth rogue.
Yeah,
Yes.
so there you go.
Okay.
Because that
okay,
was
so
the,
it's pulled from the recipes. Okay.
yeah.
Now, one thing I want to point out, not so much the decks, but the interaction with telling you at the beginning on how to play the deck. I'm wondering if they're not testing out, because with these Tavern Brawls, they do weird things sometimes just to test out functions. Maybe they're testing out something for new players on not just helping them with the deck, but maybe giving them some tips on how to play that deck.
It's possible. It's possible that, I mean, because a lot of these people may not have all the cards, and so giving them the tips at the beginning kind of helps to steer them in the right direction.
It felt like a tutorial, and I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
What do
Yeah.
you think about it, John?
The Tavern Brawl, right?
Yeah.
Haven't actually had the time to check it out. It looks really fun though. Kind of wanted to explain a little bit about the little pop-up screen afterwards that Avantes and I know about.
Oh, yeah. Well, we saw it last week in the Tavern Brawl. They introduced the score screen last week. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
How
how
did
did you
one
guys?
from last week?
Yeah.
Oh no, just the screen in
score
general at the score screen. How did you guys like that?
I liked it. I think it would really. I would like to see more, and we're talking about the Battle of Stormwind or Battle on Stormwind.
Mhm, Battle for Stormwind.
Battle for Stormwind. I would like to see more data retention with that. Maybe a way for it to hold that information or display it to your friends. Maybe one day they'll have an integration to Twitter or Facebook that allows you to kind of post those top scores. I think it would be great for something like just kind of a get together with your friends or a fireside gathering or something like that. If you could hold that information and maybe show it to other people.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm excited for what they have planned going forward. Like I said, John and I have talked about it. We've seen it, had some hands-on with it, but it's exciting. It's going to be fun. Guys, Hearthstone's in a great place right now. That's all I can say.
Definitely.
Hearthstone's in a great place. All right.
And just to clarify, legally, that's all you could say. He's not hiding
Yes.
information from you. He just can't talk about it now.
Yeah.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Never know when
So-
there might be somebody that works for Blizzard in chat.
I don't even know, and I've been trying to know, and he still won't tell me. I've known this guy for 20-some years. He still won't tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, be excited. It's gonna be really cool.
That's right. All right, let's talk about this week's deck. So, as you guys know that watch the show regularly, every week we have a deck that we talk about. And this week's deck is brought to us by Jon, and it is a Reno C'Thun Warlock. So, obviously, there are a lot of cards in this deck, and it's a blast, guys. I actually built it, messed around with it. I'm going to give you the rundown of the deck list real quick, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jon to kind of talk about how the deck plays, what you're looking for in your mulligans, and things like that. So, this deck consists of 1 Mortal Coil, 1 Acidic Swamp Ooze, 1 Beckoner of Evil, 1 Dark Peddler, 1 Doomsayer, Brand Bronzebeard, 1 Demon Wrath, 1 Disciple of C'Thun, 1 Imp Gang Boss, 1 Mind Control Tech, 1 Shadow Bolt, 1 Twilight Elder, 1 C'Thun's Chosen, 1 Defender of Argus, 1 Hellfire, 1 Refreshment Vendor, 1 Shadow Flame, 1 Spellbreaker, 1 Twilight Drake, 1 Big Game Hunter, 1 Crazed Worshipper, Emperor Thorson, Reno Jackson, 1 Siphon Soul, Sylvanas, Twin Emperor Veclor, Ragnaros the Fire Lord, 1 Twisting Nether, Lord Jaraxxus, and C'Thun. All right. So, Jon, tell us a little bit about how the deck plays, what the goal is, and what you're kind of looking for on your mulligans.
So how the deck plays is it's obviously a very control based. You want to make sure to utilize a lot of the single card resources that you have, just because, I mean, you have 1 of every card in this deck. You kind of have to know exactly what's in it and know how it'll kind of synergize with the rest of the deck. Now, there's a lot of just single hand, like a lot of these cards are just really good by itself. So you'll see like Imp Gang Boss, you'll see like C'Thun's Chosen, you'll see a lot of these just single cards that are going to be just good on its own. It can synergize pretty much with everything else. And those are the type of cards that really make this deck worthwhile. So obviously towards the late game, you keep the C'Thun, play the C'Thun whenever you feel right. It'll probably be towards the late game. And essentially, especially against like aggro decks, you just want to survive. Keep the Reno Jackson in hand. Keep like Demon Wrath. Keep a lot of AoE clears, Doomsayers. Those are pretty much your goals for a lot of like aggro and really hard to counter decks. And then for control decks, you'll generally probably win.
Okay.
At least that's how I feel about this deck. I have a soft spot in my heart for C'Thun Reno.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it played. So, guys, if you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, stay tuned for our live play portion of the show. If you are listening to us via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us at this time. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. And as always, guys, we'll see you again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
And don't forget to rate on
iTunes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha, man.
Woo!
Thanks, Jon.
All right, so those of you still with us while we are setting up to play this deck, Versika is going to tell you a little more about our sponsors at Viforce.
Okay, so have you guys ever been told about something, told how awesome something is, but you end up seeing it or buying it or test driving it or wearing it, and you're just like, man, this fell so short of what it really is. Like, the explanation just did not do the product justice.
Yes, I've been divorced twice.
Way to derail the ad.
Sorry.
But like for me, I remember starting out as a white belt and getting the entry level Dobok and being told about how great it was when you get into the higher ranks and you get this nice 100% cotton Dobok and how much better it fit and so on and so forth. So I was looking forward to it, but man, when I got it, I was just like, this. How did I ever wear anything else? Well, that's like a Viforce. That's like one of the Viforce computers. I can tell you about how awesome it is, but until you sit down and actually get a chance to play it, it's selling it short. So take the opportunity, not this weekend, but next weekend, as we host the summer prelims, to come out, test drive a Va-Force machine. You won't be sorry.
All right. Let's get into this game here. So what's your opening hand look like, John?
So I have a Sylvanas Spellbreaker, Big Game Hunter, and Disciple of Cthulhu. I am going to keep Disciple of Cthulhu, probably one of your best opening hands, and then I'm going to kind of get away the rest here.
Okay.
Really good opening. Oh, wow. I have a lot of big minions in hand.
A lot of big stuff. And we are playing against a mage, so what's your kind of thought going into this, knowing you're probably playing against either a tempo mage or maybe even a frost mage?
So it depends on this turn too, what he does, and that kind of determines on my next play here. Sorcerer's Apprentice is kind of the biggest worry right now. Definitely gonna bring out the coin on this one.
Coin Disciple to kill the Sorcerer's Apprentice here.
Actually, in this situation, I'm thinking about how I can be punished next turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm thinking is there's really nothing 4 mana for a mage that's going to be really critical. So actually here I'm going to tap.
Okay. Oh, that's perfect.
Right. So Twilight Drake's huge.
Yeah.
Good card in this.
Tap right into the Twilight Drake. Couldn't have asked for a better.
Right. And I'm only taking 3 damage. It shouldn't be that bad.
Oh wow! I'm surprised he didn't save the.
Okay, this is kind of bad now.
Save the mirror images since he had the Flame Waker.
So it does look like tempo.
So we'll go ahead and take out the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah.
At this case, it's still okay. I have Refreshment Vendor. In any case, I get too low, and then I have a Taunt as well, which eventually will kind of help me out in the long run.
That might help you with the Flame Waker out, actually.
Right. So here, instead of Refreshment, I'm actually going to bring out the... Actually, here the Twilight Drake. I'm not going to get any more better value than that.
Yeah, that's perfect value.
And then next turn, you can go into the Worshipper.
Right.
So let's see. He's just gonna ping face and probably just send everything to face, I would imagine. It
says he probably has burn in his hand.
Yeah.
There's the Reno.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's right on time, because if he does get some burn in,
yeah,
as long as he doesn't kill us,
I'm pretty sure he can't do like 13 damage with my taunt on board.
Yeah, so. Not at 6.
No,
yeah,
that's fine.
Fireball
the fireball eats one of them. Perfect.
Yep.
Sorry, I just have to do that.
This show's had its fair share of BM live, so.
We'll like one more shot on that. Oh, wow. It's really going to make for a good Twisting Nether later.
Yep. Oh, now he gets it. All right, that's fine.
But he doesn't. Wow. Yeah, definitely.
Reno Jackson.
I like the change to making it gold outline whenever you
right
can activate it. Yeah.
I think with the removal of pen and paper from tournament scene, it makes things really fair. Well, he is just rushing us.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to though.
No,
oh, I'm going to punish him so hard for this.
Now, do we put out Sylvanas now?
I was thinking Twisting Nether.
Oh, yeah, I would.
Oh,
Yeah, I would Twisting Nether too.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I greet you, yes.
All right, your turn.
We got some good value in our hand. We have C'Thun in our hand with Emperor, Twin Emperor Veclor, even though it's not activated yet.
Right. But
we still have a Refreshment Vendor.
That's right, we do.
Emperor Thorison greets you.
Yeah, I think Thorison's the strongest play. Yep.
I'd even tap.
I'm actually not gonna tap.
No?
No, you don't need to.
I just rather not risk it in case he has a Pyroblast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he only has 2 cards. Well, there's
Perfect.
the other one. Or the Forgotten Torch end of it. I'm wondering if
Yeah.
he is running Power Blast, which is why he's pushing the face damage so much.
Yeah.
Go ahead and refreshment vendor here, you think?
Oh, I gotta go for the Stone Tusk for the BM.
Yeah.
I've got to do that.
Oh.
Like that.
Yeah, there you go. Stun Tusk for the win.
Well, not quite the win. The first point of damage. First blood. Stone Tusk.
He should have done this one.
What? What?
Oh, make him pay for it. Bacon all morning long.
Yeah.
Why would bacon now morning? Oh
yeah,
my god.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the best thing you've ever said.
41 episodes, and that's the best thing he's ever said.
That's right. Bacon all day long.
I would put Sylvanas, yeah.
Yeah.
Sylvanas
Yeah.
on the board.
That way,
I
if he
just-
does, he won't drop an Emperor, Uncle Tony, an Antonidas sound.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's actually fine. This stays alive.
Yeah.
yeah.
Joey in chat asks, if you get Reno in your opening hand with this deck, do you just hold on to it?
If I have Reno in hand,
in your opening draw?
oh, it depends on the what deck I'm going against. Actually, though, if I'm going against, I'm okay with tapping here.
Yeah.
If I'm going against an aggro deck, I will definitely keep the Reno. If I'm
Okay.
going against control, say like if I'm going against Priest, Warrior, or even like yeah, Priest and Warrior, maybe Paladin, I would just toss it. Or sorry, I would keep. Oh yeah, I would toss it. I would toss it.
Okay, okay. Wow. Going through that burn to clear your board.
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh.
Do it.
Oh.
I want to clear this though.
Oh, no, you got to put him out.
You got to.
You have to.
I have to.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a 50-50 to clear it anyways. It puts him on a clock if it doesn't. You only can get
Nice.
one spell off of it, unless he has Arcane Intellect. Yeah, see, you almost have to ping your own. Oh, he didn't
I was
even
going to
pick his
say,
own
he didn't even
floodgates.
pop it.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's going to concede.
No,
I gotta
no,
think about
not
the
yet.
most stylish way to do this. Let me see. Sorry, I'm actually thinking really hard on the best stylish way to do this.
Well, I would
kill him.
get Gang Boss into the Mana Worm, Shadow Flame it.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, yes.
Should have been like, oops.
The BM is real, people.
Now, what would suck is if he somehow had like 15 damage on board. You know?
Out of two, no.
In 2 cards, yeah. He might could do 10 with a Pyroblast, but that'd be it.
The only way he can beat you is with Yogg Saron.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
that's true.
okay, that would. Oh wow, okay, so that was like still burst damage.
Yeah, he got you down to 5.
That Fireball had been in his hand for a long time, too.
Yeah.
He's been holding on to it.
Yeah,
He's trying to that's why he's been bursting your face, is so he can pop you.
Yep.
Okay.
Joey also asked if you had Reno in your opening hand, would you keep it if you knew you were playing Dragon Warrior?
If I knew I was playing Dragon Warrior, then yes, I would definitely keep it. But it's like such a toss in the air. If it's like Control Warrior, then Reno is not really the best card to have.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, but it's like not really needed.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if we can get one more game in. We usually like do best 2 out of 3 on the show.
I'll try to win this one to get that best 2 out of 3.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good because Versika turns into a pumpkin in 10 minutes.
Oh, the Olympics are on.
Oh,
This is actually kind of an interesting turnout. I don't need acidic. I want to actually push for my really early game.
Okay.
This is actually okay. Mortal Coil is gonna be good in case he puts out Living Roots.
Yes. Yeah. Chances of this being Cthulhu Druid? Probably pretty high.
Probably
Probably
100%.
pretty high.
Really,
You might see people doing some Beast Druid to get prepared for tomorrow.
You know, I've actually the tournament that I was live casting this morning and Monday, there were no Cthulhu Druid. There were actually Yogg Druid and Token Druid.
Yeah, this guy's rocking a pirate card back. I'm willing to bet that this is Yogg.
Could be. And we also want to point out the card back that John is using is the Flame of Dalaran TESPA card back.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to do that, you know.
Right.
I hate you, by the way. Just kidding.
Wait, I thought you guys were like besties now because you both play Druid.
I want that.
Early pressure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna need that anyways.
Right.
By the way, before you guys all leave, I would like to get a picture of the previous screen when we were just all talking.
Oh yeah,
We
sure.
could do that. Yeah, we'll do that.
You know, for like my social media and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Twilight Drake is great right here.
Such good value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the 4/7's really hard for Druid to get rid of on turn 5.
I know. What are they gonna do? Keeper of the Grove? What even is that?
Keeper of the who?
Oh.
Oh,
After interesting.
Nice.
it could be Nazoth Paladin.
Or Token.
Or Nazoth Druid. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be Nazoth Druid. That would be interesting.
Is that worth silencing?
I think it's not a bad target, but
Yeah, I don't know if I'd silence it yet.
oh,
Really?
Wow.
Oh, feels bad, bro. Feels bad.
Yeah. So we played the Crazed Worshipper on turn 5.
I was debating if I wanted to do Mortal Coil on the Loot Hoarder, but I want to see if this can get as much value as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe draw out a swipe. Nope.
Right.
He's gonna go
That's
with the 4/6.
actually okay.
Yeah.
Drew the Reno, perfect card here.
He
And
drew it on curve too.
yeah, I want to use Hellfire here, but
Hmm.
not
Well,
the best.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, why don't you just run the 4/4 into the 4/6 and then Hellfire to clear the board? You'd still have a 3/3 taunt.
And it'd be activated more than once.
True.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of ways I can get rid of it because I can also do Shadow Bolt, Mortal Coil,
Mhm.
and it'll just leave a 1/1. Wait, which I can just take out anyways. I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I want to save the help. Actually, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I want to save the Hellfire. I actually almost.
decisions.
I like the
actually-
Hellfire, but
Actually, I think I'm. No, I think I'm gonna do this.
okay.
Reason is because I don't want this damage that much.
Gotcha. And that leaves you a 3/5 taunt.
Alright. This is actually quite nice, Bran. Because I can combo it with Cthulhu's Chosen.
Yes.
Get
Yep.
4+4+4. Or plus, yeah.
Yeah, +4/+4 total.
Waiting for him to play like Wisps of the Old God.
What? Elise Starseeker.
Interesting. Golden monkey druid.
No, I run her in my
Oh my gosh, what's coming out now?
Nazoth.
Alright, Sylvanas. That's fine.
So do you run the Crazed Worshipper into the
Here?
Elise and then drop Doomsayer? Hellfire Doomsayer?
Yeah.
That's not a bad play. Yeah.
It's actually a very heads up play.
Because now he's got to come up with 2 additional points of damage.
Right. Which
I'm
he
okay
may
with
have. I mean,
Yeah.
he could have Living Roots,
Wrath.
but then, you know.
And we still have a Spellbreaker.
Exactly.
But he might have Wrath.
But he doesn't have it.
Nah, I think he does have
He
it.
does.
No, he
No, he
went
doesn't.
face.
You're right. He went face. It looked like he was attacking the Doomsayer.
Wow. Now, do we drop our Sylvanas?
Yeah, you gotta counter that.
I like the brand Cthulhu's chosen.
Okay, so the reason, well, my Cthulhu's already at. Oh, it's not.
No. You
That's fine. I
definitely
don't
probably
but
need
this-
to brand Cthulhu's chosen.
Which is,
next
I don't.
turn.
means
I
at
don't
turn
have
9.
anything.
Yeah.
He's
I don't
not going to
have
put
my-
anything. Whoa. Why would you put that on the board after you see?
Okay, well, I guess. Okay, whatever.
Well, I think at this point that's pretty much a done deal. You run Sylvanas into
Yeah, run
Ysera
Sylvanas and then Demon Wrath.
And take
Oh,
his,
I forgot I had Demon.
Yeah,
Wrath.
Yeah.
take his Ysera.
Yeah, why would he put Ysera after you Sylvanas? I don't
I have
understand
no idea.
that.
But I think Cthulhu's
I might as
chosen
well-
and draw a card.
Oh wait, I forgot. There's no combo.
Right.
Yeah, there's no combo. We don't have to worry about that. There's no real burst damage at all.
All right, next turn, I can brand and Reno and get. the same amount. Oh, he has swipe. Oh my gosh! All right, well, that's a card.
Big Game Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. My gosh. But I can't Reno.
No, you can't. But that's fine. We didn't take the face damage.
Yeah, I would definitely big game hunter here.
I would probably Big Game Hunter and then throw down the big dragon,
Yeah.
the Emerald Drake.
Well, no, I was going to say, can't we?
We can't do any brand shenanigans yet.
No, I think that's
Yeah, I
fine.
guess it's a little. We're still a little too low to.
No, I want to do
Right.
brand to Twin Emperor.
Right.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Definitely the play you want to make.
that's the goal.
Because at that
Oh
point,
no.
this is a swipe. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Still,
that's fine.
what? Wait, what? He didn't kill. I'm confused.
So yeah, this is the brand Twin Emperor turn.
I think so.
Is it
Yeah.
activated?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you no longer have to worry about two swipes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
You're getting three. You're getting three.
I was like,
imps.
what about Starfall or whatever?
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
the card
if you
that,
want, you could Reno and Defender this turn, and then brand Twin Emperor next turn just to be safe.
Yeah, I really want to be safe on here.
Okay.
Not that it matters, but
There you go.
do I attack it?
I think you got to kill
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah.
kill it.
See, I want to show him how many good cards I have.
That's right.
So he clears, or it's lethal next turn.
Or I could Twisting Nether.
So this is the play. If he doesn't do anything else, oh, he went to face.
Yeah, he's given up.
I was
Or
gonna say,
Or
Nice.
mind blown.
I appreciate that actually.
oh man.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've got to just lay down the Twin Emperor shenanigans now.
Yeah.
Not yet, not yet. I want to get the value off of this.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Emperor T, go for it.
Yeah.
That's so much value right here. Oh, man.
This is nuts. Okay, we just saw Reno Druid. Okay, the world is coming to an end.
Now I can brand Emperor Disciple and do like 4 damage.
Yeah, Dave Darsky, you're
You
my hero.
have double Ysera's Awakens
Wow.
for 1 mana each.
15.
Wait,
oh, that is
so
lethal.
that's lethal.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you attack the face, Twisting Nether, say oops, and then double Ysera?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's That's literally the only way.
Oh, wait,
I
is
can
it
do
still lethal?
It's still lethal.
It still is.
Okay.
That's literally the only thing I can do.
But you can't double. Yeah, you can. Oops.
So bad. So bad.
This is BM Night on the Hero Power Podcast.
Yeah. Brought to you by It's Jon Oh. Oh.
Nice.
Beat him with his own Ysera.
Told you this deck is legit.
Ducharmo in chat's freaking out. You have lethal. Yeah, but you have to go out with style.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, what would Hearthstone be without BM?
Right. Oh, man, that was a lot of fun. I love it. I love it. It's a great deck.
All right, so you have a promise to keep real quick before we go.
I do. I actually have 2 promises to keep. So while I am doing one, let's talk about final thoughts. We do a final thoughts every show. So Zeroshio, what do you have for us this week?
Okay, we have the summer prelims in Knoxville. If you are near the Knoxville area, next weekend, that is the 19th through the 21st, we have 3 days of events going on. Obviously, we have the prelims and the Tavern Hero Championships, but we are also going to have lots of side events. And Sunday, we're going to have a One Night in Karazhan party. More information of that is on our Facebook group. We have Facebook invites going out. We're going to have all kinds of prizes and swag, and we're also working on possibly rewarding some players that come out dressed out in their best either Hearthstone costumes or 70s costumes to commemorate the One Night in Karazhan release.
All right, Versika.
Just remember, if you purchase all 4 wings, Thursday through next Wednesday, then you'll get a special Karazhan card back for purchasing all the content in 1 week. So yeah, Karazhan goes live tomorrow.
Okay.
Aside from playing the Hunter's card, have fun with it.
Awesome. John, why don't you tell people where they can find you and about any events you have coming up in the Seattle area?
Right. So anybody that is in the Seattle area, I guess, you can follow me on Twitter. I post kind of regular updates. You can join the Facebook page. It's, I think, facebook.com/group/UW Hearth. So it's just UW Hearth, pretty much you can find, or WGA Hearthstone. Those are the ways you can find on Facebook. But follow me on Twitter at It's Jon Oh, and you'll have regular random updates from me.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you for being on the show. We enjoyed having you.
Oh, I definitely enjoyed being here.
Good. Glad you had a good time. Also, I want to shout out to Ducharmo. You guys may know him as Joey SS in chat. He is hosting a One Night in Karazhan party on August the 20th for the Rio Grande Valley area in Texas. So if you are down that way, look him up and check out his One Night in Karazhan party. It should be a blast.
And
Nice.
wish him a happy birthday, because that's his birthday.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday, man.
All right, guys. Well, that will do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Do us a favor, please hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you've not done so already, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live, just like Tunas of Network just did. Thanks for the follow. Also, it's Jon Oh just gave us a follow.
Gotcha, guys.
So, guys, also we've got some great stuff planned for you. Like Zeroshio said, we got some great events coming up in a couple of weeks. A week from
Next weekend.
yeah, a week from this Friday. Wow, time flies. All right, guys. As always, we will see you again next week. Until then, good gaming.
Peace out, guys.